Welcome, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Let's get this screen going. Awesome. Hopefully, everyone is having a great day today. We're going to be talking about multifamily fundamentals and going through from A to Z and diving into my framework that I've used to build thousands on thousands of dollars of passive income and build over $10 million portfolio. And I'm going to talk to you guys today and share information on how you're going to be able to do the same thing too. Because at the end of the day, it's all well to see somebody else's experience, but now how can you all take this process and leverage it to do the same thing for yourself? So let's go on. So who's Johnny? Originally from Alabama. I was born in Detroit, Michigan, grew up there for a few years, moved to Alabama with my family. And after that, just continued to have humble beginnings. My dad was a pastor. My mom was a phlebotomist, worked in the lab, and went off to college to the University of Alabama, Roll Tide, where I got electrical engineering degree. And I've been serving in the U.S. Air Force now for 18 years, August 23. So a really good career, rewarding career. Had the pleasure of leading teams in different environments, multiple deployments, and I've leveraged those leadership opportunities, managing billion-dollar multi-year software development contracts, leading teams downrange and things, to now figuring out how can I transition that to business and entrepreneurship. And for me, I didn't wait till I was retired to start that transition with building teams and start my own company. And so I've been blessed, to have a beautiful wife and 3 kids, Melissa, then our 3 kids, Johnny, Jason, Mackenzie. And that's my why. That's what I do. That's why I'm here today. And I've also been blessed to write a book, published author. You can get the book there on Amazon. For those in the REI Genius community, that you can get a PDF copy of it. And Millionaire Real Estate Success Strategy, what they forgot to teach in school. And that's why I'm passionate about this, why I teach it, and why I'm always talking real estate and wealth building principles, because it's super serious for us to be able to change the narrative. For me and my background, it was all about, hey, how can I take the torch a little bit further and be able to hand it off to the next generation and leave them in a better place. And over time, I found real estate. I became my CEO operator. We built our business 2015, my wife and I, Operation Invest, where we started buying and renovating homes. And then a couple years ago, founded REI Genius, my mentorship community, where we train and consult with other aspiring real estate investors to help them accelerate their journey in building wealth. All right. Done a lot of stuff, been around the block, from podcasts, articles, book, speaking engagement, all this stuff. So it's been a blessed journey. Couldn't have planned any of this stuff out when I started. When I first found out about real estate, when I bought my first property in 2006, nobody would have told me where I would be at now and what we would have been able to achieve with that. But that's why we're here today. But it didn't start that way. As I told you, I grew up, and for those that's read my book, you understand already that I shared how my first duty station, that I had to have a family member sign on my first lease for my apartment building. And that kind of gave me the kick in the pants to know, hey, you don't know it all, even though you got an engineering degree, that there's a whole nother ball game when it comes to investing and being able to operate in this world. And so for me, it started with the first deal. And that's what I want everybody here on this call to understand, that it starts with your first deal. It was funny, as I was going through putting my slides together, it's like, man, let me go back and look up Kid Street. But this was that first property. You can see that Tuesday, April 28, 2015, that we made an offer on an auction property, and we were successful. You put your offer in, it didn't say, hey, you won or anything like that, but we got the email back saying, hey, we want to talk to you. And lo and behold, it worked out. And that's the thing that I want each and every one of you to understand, that it starts with your first property. And this was a single family, but it starts somewhere for everybody. Some people start to go straight into multifamily. Some start with single family. But the thing is, the understanding what is the best vehicle for you and where you need to be, and to get you to that destination. But from that first deal, ever since then, we've done dozens on top of dozens of transactions, from single family houses, townhouses, to apartment buildings. And we continue to grow and continue to do more and more deals every year. And this is the framework and basis of everything that I'm presenting to you guys tonight, in order to make sure that you're good to go. Hopefully you all know the guy on the picture there, Dr. Eric Thomas. But the thing is, when I started this journey, that I didn't know it all. I didn't have a mentor. And so one of the things that I realized through all the struggles, the setbacks, the pains going through, that it was worth it. And the thing for me, when getting into apartments and talking about investing in multifamily, I had to go through a transformation personally, because I had limited beliefs on money, on wealth, on what the person that was the perfect buyer who owns apartment buildings, what they look like in my head. For me, it was somebody that had millions of dollars in the bank, that that had a net worth. They were CEO. They were very, very well off. But the thing we got to realize, and this quote goes after, you're not average. None of us are average. But guess what? We play small because it's easier to blend in and be average instead of sticking our neck out there and leading forward. And so this picture here is from an event, Jake and Gino event, the first ever multifamily webinar conference that I went to, and where I had my transformation. Because I went there and there's people that were just like me that were doing deals, that were partnering on deals. And I'm going to share a little bit with you. So I was there in the audience. And I'll get it. I'm not going to play the whole 4 minutes, but this started my journey in multifamily. And so he was one of the keynote speakers there. And if you know ET, he's going to bring the fire. You're not going to be unmotivated. You're not going to sit there and just be quiet and not be motivated when he's in the room. And so this planted the seed that's birthed the redwood that you see before you right now, and what we're doing right now, and what we're building. But the premise of all this is, he was asking about why we're doing this and what our goal was. When I came there, I was just going to get information. But when I left there, I had a plan. And y'all just listen to a little bit of this. What does freedom look like right there? Going where I want, when I want, with who I want. Right? $15K a month. Right now, $15,000 a month. You need $15,000 a month. How much is that a year? 180. 180. I just want to get the third. Let's put the third on. So let's just go and put sketch on that. So what's the vehicle that we're talking about today? That's going to help us to get $70,000. Real estate. Real estate. What is it? Real estate. Real estate. So you can buy a property that was $50,000. Is that possible? Oh yeah. So now we're not find one $20,000. What kind of property is that? What kind of property is that? Multifamily. Multifamily. Is it apartments? Is that what we're talking about here? Yeah. Yeah. That's three. Now I'm going to need some more properties. You got a choice? 3. Johnny McKinney. Johnny will need to grow up all that. Probably about 200K. So we go about another property called Johnny. Mackenzie. Mackenzie got another property complex called Mackenzie. Mackenzie Estates. And that's what they take care of. Mackenzie. Jace. Jace. That's the bottom of the Jace. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to need to do some tracking and have fun. So we're just going to be property. Freedom. What does freedom look like? And then we got 4 books coming from that. One book is the one book for school. Then you scared guys. But what I wanted to share, the big takeaway with that is, when I left there, y'all, 45 days later, I put my first LOI in on $1 million property when I left this conference. And right now, we own 4 apartments with 1 under contract. one for Johnny, one for Mackenzie, one for Jace, one for my wife. That who would have thought, I gave myself 5 years to get all those properties when we were talking on stage. And we crushed that goal. And that's what I want you guys to realize, that being able to speak over your life and to take what we're talking about tonight serious, that it can really, really change your life. And so that's what we're all about. And after that, Operation Lenawee, that was that property that we closed on, that we put that LOI in 45 days after that video that we just watched. And then everything that came after that, with the 40 unit, with the 24 unit, with the 12 unit, and then with the 20 unit that we have under contract now to close on. But guess what? There's obstacles that's going to get in the way. There's the stuff in the head. I talked about the transformation that I have. I'm pretty sure I can tell you right now with confidence that you're going to have some transformation to happen in your life in order to get there and achieve these same goals for you. Because the process works. The information works. The system works. The question today is, are you ready to do the work? Are you ready to change your habits? Are you ready to change your mindset from everything that's got you to the place where you're at tonight? Because clearly you're interested. You wouldn't be here tonight if you're not interested. But now, how do we make that transformation to go from interested to committed? Because when you go from interested to committed, some strange things start happening. Stuff starts working. Stuff starts lining up. You start getting phone calls from brokers. You start getting lists of off markets, too small properties that I don't normally look at, but I'll give them to you. You just call me if you find something, let me represent you. That happened today, y'all. Whereas that now, when you start living on purpose and letting the universe know what it is that you want, and you let everybody know that your superpower is that you're a real estate investor, that stuff is going to start happening and fall in place. But we got to get past some of those obstacles. For me, number one was money. I was like, man, I ain't got $1 million. How am I going to buy $1 million building? I had to get past that. Do you know you can buy real estate without having to use your own credit, without having to use your own money, without you having to have all the ability? With you having a team where you don't have to be scared about making mistakes because it's not you by yourself. Where you can have somebody that can mentor you, where you don't have to worry about confusion and being able to not understand what's going on. And on the other side of all these limited beliefs, y'all, man, it gets real good on the other side of those beliefs. When you start refinancing these property, that first property that I bought for $1,050,000, when we refinanced it, 2 years later, that was a deposit that the credit union sent to us. And that's what I want you to understand tonight, that that's what this is all about. And that's what we're marching towards. But you got to understand what's your why. This is a great, I'm not going to read it to you, but this is a great testimony from one of my clients that talked about his transformation. Retired lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, was making that transition into the private sector and knew he wanted to do something different. He knew he had to do real estate investing. He had to diversify his portfolio. And it was amazing to see this transformation, to go from not doing any deals to partnering on deals. I think right now, having 4 fix and flip projects that's going on and being able to communicate, make the right partnerships to do it. But this is what's possible when you're living on purpose, when you're making the time to take care of your business. Because my dad always told me, he said, if you take care of business, business will take care of you. And we're here, but we're going to take care of business tonight. So we're going to talk about how do we find these motivated apartment sellers. We're going to talk about how you can finance the deals. We're going to talk about how do you go to that next step? How we fix them up? How are we going to renovate them? How are we going to make sure we got a good statement of work? How are we going to make sure we got a good contract? And then how do we make sure that we keep these projects on budget? Then we're going to talk about the finish, the exit strategy. Are we going to keep it? Are we going to refinance it? Are we going to pay off our investors? And are they going to stay in the deal? Are they going to get out of the deal? What is all that going to look like? And then the thing that I want you guys to know why this is so important, that anybody can do this. Anybody can go right now and buy apartments. You don't have to, it doesn't require a real estate license or anything. There's no barriers to entry, but right here between your ears for you to decide, to have the creativity to go after it, to put the deals together, and then understand it's not how, it's who in so many instances in order to find success in life. The faster you take action, guess what? The faster you can buy that first deal. That's it. The same thing, these principles are almost ubiquitous when you start looking at single family and multifamily. And then lastly, after that, it becomes repetition. Because guess what? You buy the one property, then you take it, you find the next property, and it goes on and it builds and it builds and it builds. And guess what? When you start doing multifamily, y'all, when you start investing in multifamily, you don't have to do a whole lot of deals. Because it doesn't take but a few $400,000 check deposits to where you can start doing whatever it is that you want to do, when you want to do it, with whoever you want to do it, for however long you want to do it. And that's what we are here. We're trying to get after that time freedom, whether we love our job or not, but being able to do whatever it is that we want to do when we want to do it. And that's what it's all about. Before we go in, but why are apartments a great investment? Why do they work so well for building wealth? For me, number one was passive income. I can have my money making money for me. I can buy low and sell high, or I can buy low and refinance and keep banking the cash flow. There's so many different strategies you can leverage, but multifamily investing is the easy button because it goes fast. Instead of doing one transaction and getting only $300-$400 of cash flow for a single family, now you can get $3,000-$4,000 of cash flow from one apartment building for one deal. Same closing transaction. I will argue my commercial deals, that first one, it closed way easier than any VA loan that I've closed for my personal residence. And I tell the stories like when I went with the bank, I didn't even submit loan statements or anything for my bank account because I had a relationship with them. And that's what it's all about. Tax breaks. Bonus depreciation is still, right now in 2023, is 80%. Bonus depreciation, where you can pull those losses together to the first year and reduce. And I'll talk about that a little bit, but with our losses right now, I think we're up to the tune, when we close on the 20 unit, we'll be close to a little bit over $900,000 for our first year tax write-off. And for our first deal, that 18 unit, that we were at a little bit under $400,000 total. So the thing is that you just got to look at the deal and be able to understand how you can take advantage of what's being put in front of you. And the IRS lays it out. They don't want to be landlords, so guess what? They incentivize people to invest money and be landlords, so the government doesn't have to be there. And appreciation. All right, that 18-unit deal, we appreciated that one. It went up from 1.05 million to 1.76 million in 2 years. And that's the power of going in, adding value, updating units, and getting increasing rents, increasing your income, and then being able to lower expenses. If you know how to do those two things, you're going to be in great shape. My challenge to you guys tonight, as I was going through and just talking through this, I spent thousands of hours doing real estate, going through, finding, negotiating deals, the back and forth, walking houses, the projects and everything. And then also on top of that, just thinking about real estate. I didn't go to bed until like 1 o'clock this morning because it's up. It's hard to turn your brain off when you're going through, especially when I want to make sure that I present the best thing possible to you all on this webinar and going through. But the thing is with that, I had to take and figure out how do I collapse all this and make it consumable for you guys, whereas that now is something that you can immediately put in action right now in order to be successful and be successful at it the first time that you use it. And so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to talk about apartments today. So in that small amount of time together, this is my goal, to make a big impact in these ways. Confidence. There was once uncertainty, because a lot of times you don't know, it's uncertain because you don't know it. And so there's some hesitancy there. Clarity, where there was once confusion, and then unlock with you the true potential that you have to make a dent in this universe, to be able to do, because I think wealth is our birthright. At least it is for me. I'm claiming it. And I'm going to speak that over my life, and I'm going to go get it. So this is what we're going to talk about. This is my multi-million-dollar real estate investor framework. Find, finance, fix, and finish. That's it, y'all. The 4 F's. My 4F framework. This is it. Let's go. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all drop in chat. Yes, if you're ready. I see some hands going up. Let's go. We're going to press. All right, step 1, find. We got to find it. What does that look like? Because at the end of the day, we already talked about that the deals are out there. How do we get in front of them? There's plenty of apartments across the nation, all these cities out here. There's plenty of places right now where you have landlords that are willing and able to sell. You just got to get in front of them. And I think that's the thing that we got to figure out, that right now in the history where we are, the majority of small apartments, for me, I define small apartments as 40 units and below. They're owned by baby boomers. If you look at all the real estate transactions in 2022, 50% of the houses that were sold by individuals that were over the age of 55. So what does that tell you? That the aging population owns a lot of the wealth in the United States. And so being able to buy these properties you're going to be right on the cusp of transferring a lot of wealth. And so if you figure out how to get in front of these individuals, know what motivates them, know what their challenges are, and if you can go in and provide win-win solutions, then you're going to be extremely successful. And that's what we're talking about, because you got to be able to negotiate win-win solutions in life. And if you're able to do that, you're going to be able to lock in some major profits, because it's all about relationships. It's all about relationships from everywhere across the board, from with your attorney, with your seller, with your contractors that you're managing, with your property managers, with your partners, with your coach, with everybody that's with your spouse, all that. Because if you're failing in any of those relationships, your success is going to suffer in all of it. And so that's the thing that we got to realize, is how we can focus and how we can foster those relationships to take us to the next level. Somebody type next level. You're ready to go to the next level, type next level. Because that's what we're all about. And apartments will take you to that next level of your life. I'm telling you, it will take you to places that you never even thought that you wanted to go in your life. You're like, this is pretty nice. Yeah, I'm glad I thought about this. But that's the thing that we're going there. That's what we're doing. But it starts with marketing. Marketing. When we start talking about finding deals, you got to figure out, where is the deal? And there's so many ways to do that. But marketing refers to the activities that you have to take in order to promote the buying or selling of a product or service. Our service is, we buy problems. I want the nastiest house, the ugliest house, with the code violations, with the grass not being cut, with the roof collapsing in. That's what I want. That's what I'm all about. Because guess what? There's opportunity there. And that's the thing that we bring to the table, is being able to take what is ugly, what is old, what is ruffled, and be able to bring it and create it and turn it into new. And that's where it is, where we're value add, with our value add strategy, that we look to find these things. So where are they at? How do we find them? And this, y'all, this is where the real money is made at. And I say that because you make money in real estate investing when you buy, not when you sell, not when you refinance. Way before you get that check, before you get that deposit, you make your money by the price that you pay up front. And the ability of us to be able to know what we can pay up front, we got to know how much our renovation costs are. We got to know how much we're going to be paying in insurance. We got to know how much we're going to be paying in taxes. We got to understand all of these things in order to say, hey, Mr. Seller, this is what I can pay for your property, because you haven't kept it up to date. You still got the cabinets from the 70s in here. We got to bring this up to 2023 standards. We got to bring new appliances, new floors. It needs a new roof. Your HVAC, your water heaters are all 20 years old. And boom, this is what I can pay for you. This is why. And let's go. Let's make it happen. But the thing is, y'all don't have to worry about it, because there's proven ways to get properties. They're all over. There's limited amounts of ways that you can niche down and find motivated sellers. In every single market across the United States, this works. And it doesn't require a lot of money. Most of it doesn't require a lot of money. That you want to be successful. And that's the thing that people realize. You have it here that I got to have a lot of money. I got to have a big marketing budget. How much money does it cost you to pick the phone and call 5 brokers a week that got listings? That's free. Or to send a monthly text message. Hey, any deals? I'm still looking for this, and this. This is my buy box. Or to put a sign out on the side of the road. To wear a t-shirt that says, I buy apartments. How much does that really cost? To have a business card, to have your hat? Or the cold call, just, calling owners that, just went through eviction court. They were evicting somebody at the apartment. They might be motivated. I don't know. But there's a lot of free ways. You can drive and find apartments that are abandoned, or that, they're not keeping up the maintenance. You see that the roof is falling in. You can see like broken down cars in front of the building. All these are signs of distress, which we as real estate investors love. So those are some broad marketing tips. But then we got the tactical, where we focus on broker relationships. You can focus on attorneys, certain type of attorneys, probate attorneys. You can focus on people that are near retirement age. You can find vacant properties. All of these are tactical marketing areas where we can niche down and find these apartment owners who are probably more motivated to sell. And these are just indications of life that happen around anybody, but just so happen when they happen to people that real estate, that somebody usually has to figure out what they're going to do because they're living their whole best life. And then somebody passes away and they're up. Now I got to take care of this property in another state. And that's a challenge. How I know that? Because I've done it multiple times on the in-law side, and then I'm dealing with it right now. They're going to be painting my parents' house on Monday and putting the floors in the next week. And then we're going to sell a house all the way 16 hours away down in Mobile, Alabama. And the property's been vacant for 2 years. And so handling the personal property and doing all of that, it was a challenge. But guess what? What we do with challenges, we take them head on and we knock them out. But being able to understand the mindset of the situation that somebody going through, it allows you to craft a win-win solution to be sympathetic, but then also have the empathy to know, hey, I know that you need help with this. Let me come in and add value and build that relationship. And now, guess what? If you build a relationship with an owner who owns 10 apartment buildings and you help him with one, what could happen when he gets ready to sell the rest of the portfolio in 2 years? Who you think he may call? That's it. Just off one relationship, you can change your legacy and build wealth with just one relationship. With being able to just be able to talk with one owner who has all these apartments that, hey, I want to be discreet. I don't want a big hoopla. I don't want a whole lot of people walking my property, multiple offers. Hey, if you can pay me X amount per door, I'll sell it to you. And let's do it. And I'll 100% finance. How does that happen? You got it. That's it. That's it. And you just got to have a little favor. But those are the opportunities that present themselves. The things to remember, everyone underestimates just how much they can accomplish in 1 year. I'm telling you guys that I took my portfolio from $5 million to $10 million last year. $5 million to $10 million in 1 year with 3 apartment buildings with added value. And we're going to talk a little bit about those deals and just show you how we're going about to do that process, but it's possible. You can make a lot of change in your life in a short amount of time if you're faithful to the process. Do you guys agree? There's hundreds on top of hundreds of apartments built in the United States. You can add profit in the thousands monthly in your cash flow number without you having to do all the work. It's a team. Multifamily investing is the ultimate team sport. And guess what? I just told you, it can be done in a quick amount of time. It takes people decades. It takes some people decades to make the amount of money that you can potentially make in investing in apartment real estate. And that's what we're going to talk about. Step 2, the finance side. We talked about how to find the deals, the marketing that we got to bring on point. And then now we're going to talk about how to finance, because money is one of those things that you got to have. You either got it or you got to figure out how to go find it or go get it. And that's the thing that you got to understand, that it doesn't always have to come on you, but you got to know where it's at. So identify the best financing options to provide the capital for your multifamily project. Pretty straightforward. But you got multiple options to get there. And in order to go through it, you can go the traditional route. You can go be really creative. You can have it yourself. You can find somebody in your circle, your family, friends to bring the money into you, or you can go to a traditional bank and do it. It just depends on what's your superpower, what access do you have. This is a great quote that I love from Grant Cardone. Rich people use debt to leverage investments and grow cash flows. Poor people use debt to buy things that make rich people richer. Poor getting poor, rich getting richer. Until you change your mindset and understand assets and liabilities, this is always going to be true. In order to level up, in order to go to the next level, you got to understand how to leverage debt in order to buy investments and being able to go to the next level. And that's what we're going to be talking about continuously when you start talking about apartment buildings. The bank side. So traditional banks, when you think about banks, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, your local credit unions. I love local credit unions for these multifamily deals because they love to invest in their local community. Most of them are geographically constrained. They only invest in a certain radius of the area they operate. And this is great because they love buying cash flowing assets and investing in deals that they know they can get a solid return. There's a low risk profile, because if you got a 30 unit apartment building, what's the odds of all 30 people moving out at the same time? It's very low. So they know that you're going to be able to make your debt service coverage ratio, aka your mortgage. And they know that over time, if you got experience, that you're a good operator and you're just going to appreciate in value, and their money is safe and secure. And that's what the bank is looking for. And even in a recessionary environment, that it can be tough to get debt, but guess what? They're still a bank. They're still in existence, and their business model is to loan money out. And guess what? If you have a great deal, a great asset that's cash flowing, you're gonna be in good shape. You're gonna be able to get a deal and get the deal financed. Hard money. This is a non-traditional lender. You hear a lot about hard money when you start talking about single family fix and flips and going through that process. But you can bring hard money on for small apartment buildings as well too. My 12 unit that I showed you there, we use hard money for that deal, for that one. And understanding that, it's just going through understanding the terms of the loan, the speed at which you can turn the units over, and then execute, and making sure that your business plan aligns with the time frame for your debt. And as long as those things work and you have some buffer in there, then let's go. And I think that's one of the things you got to look at, that, a lot of people think, oh, well, I don't have the traditional bank. Because these banks here, they more so care about the deal more than they do your credit score, or, what you're going to be paying down if you got a team. And so that's the thing, where your team and being able to leverage the team from a credit perspective and for a money perspective helps you do these deals. Private notes. That's a whole hour discussion by itself about raising private money and the laws around it, the structure on how you should do it correctly to stay within compliance. But you can get loans from other people. For my first deal, I had second position debt that I paid my investor 7%. We raised $95,000 of the $210,000 down payment, paid them 7% for 2 years, and then gave them a 20K portion of the equity, and that was spread out pro rata based off of how much they contributed to that 95K, and they ended up with 17% IRR, internal rate return. So essentially, they made 34% return on their money in 2 years, and that's what it's all about: creating a win-win. Self-directed IRAs. That being able to self-direct your retirement account, there is I forgot how many trillions of dollars are in retirement accounts right now. And as people look to bring money out of the stock market, there's opportunity for them to invest in your apartment deals. So learning this strategy on how you work with different companies like Equity Trust, Advancer IRA, and there's plenty of different custodians out here, whereas that you can help people get back control. Because so many people have, like, previous employers, they got money trapped in these IRAs, they don't know what to do with it. And so now you're providing a solution, whereas that, hey, your family member used to work for General Motors for 25 years, got 200K just sitting over here and no return. Like, hey, you need to put this in a self-directed IRA, and I'm going to show you how you can invest with me, where I'm going to give you an 8-10% return, and we're going to give you a big equity dump when we refinance it here in a couple of years. And now you're helping provide an opportunity. You're not asking for money. You're providing an opportunity for others to invest with you. Seller financing. I love seller financing. Have you guys, anybody here ever done a seller financing deal? Drop it in the chat. Seller finance is just essentially the seller becomes the bank. They say, hey, I don't care about your, well, they don't say I don't care about your credit, but I've never had a seller financing deal where they asked for my credit score. They didn't ask for any of that stuff. They said, hey, give me 5% down. Or, in the case of the 24 unit that I just showed you guys that we're going to talk about, it was 100% seller finance. We just paid closing costs. That was it. These deals exist. And we're not talking about something in the hood, in a war zone. We're not talking about some 60s or 50s multifamily. We're talking about a 24-unit brick built in 97, 98 that is a great asset and 100% finance. And these are the deals that you can get, y'all, that will change your life. And with that deal, we're gonna put in a little bit over $1.2 million of value by increasing those rents. And that's all from just being able to go in with a seller financing deal where now you don't even have to go and raise money for some of these deals. But we got to get going and get in the game in order to do it. This joint venture syndication, kind of talking about that with that first deal that I done. We bought it for $1,050,000. We put $210,000 down, and we ended up raising money, $95,000 for our private investors. And then we were smart enough. Well, I was smart enough to know that I could take over insurance claims because there was some hurricane damage to these units. And I was able to get a total of $50,000 from the insurance to come in. And so that $70,000 that we had to bring into capital improvements, $50,000 of that came from the insurance claim. And so just being able to know what the parameters of a deal and what you can do, the parameters of insurance, and knowing what you can do as an owner, and when you're buying and the rights that you can bring and convey with the property, that it's a game changer. Because guess what? If I didn't know that I could take over an insurance claim, I would have left $50,000 on the table. Me knowing that single information from going to a meetup on a Tuesday morning in Panama City at Big Mama's on the Bayou and talking with one of the attorney real estate investors and him saying how he was buying deals and he was being able to take over the insurance claim. And me having that information allowed me when I bought my apartment building to say, hey, do you mind if I take over the insurance claim too as we buy the property? And just having my attorney draw up 2 pages of paper, that right there alone brought $50,000 to this deal to do renovation. And that's the power of knowing the information and being able to apply what you learn and take action on it. Deal analyzer. So this is one of the things that, when we go through and talked about that you got to be able to underwrite. You got to be able to get in the deal. How do you understand with your finance, is this a good deal? And this is what I took to the bank when I went. I gave them the layout of my business plan that I share with my clients to use. I gave them the everything that we had done with our experience with my resume. And then I underwrote the deal for him. Like, hey, this is how I already know this is a good deal. And he looked at it. He's like, man, when I see you guys come in with this, he's like, I already know that, he had to make a tweak about where they wanted to be from the debt service coverage ratio and go through everything. But he's like, when somebody presents their underwriting in this type of format, I know it's lowering our risk from a bank risk profile and going through. And so that's one of the things right there. What do you guys think? Is that a good deal right there? That's kind of a zoom in on the calculator. But when we ran the numbers, I said at $1 million, there's no way I can screw this up. And so I offered $1 million. And we ended up coming in and splitting the difference at $1,050,000. But we had a projected cash on cash return right at 20% with a debt coverage ratio of 1.73. The bank's minimum is about 1.25 for the debt coverage ratio. And we were buying at a 10 cap. And guess what? I know buying at a 10 cap, I was like, yeah, this is at least probably a 7.5. So I was like, okay, this is all day, a game all day. I'm like, sign me up, let's go. We're gonna make this happen. But I knew the opportunity. I knew how to go in and add value. And because they were, mom and pop owners, it was 2 couples that owned it. They had other businesses. They had a contractor run off with a lot of the insurance money they had already. And they weren't focused really on the apartment building because they had other stuff going on. And so there lied the opportunity where we were able to get this property for a discount because we were solving their problem. It was a headache for them. And that's the thing. So yeah, this was definitely a good deal. All right, step 3, we're moving right along. We talked about how to find the deals. We talked a little bit about how to finance and the different opportunities that you have. But now, how do we go through that fix process? When you close on the property, you already had you had the inspector go through and they told you got to fix X, Y, and Z. And you understand your business plan that, hey, in order for me to increase the rents $300, I'm going to have to bring in vinyl plank flooring. I'm going to have to paint the kitchen cabinets. I'm going to have to update the countertops. And I'm going to have to install new light fixtures. And I'm going to go through with a new coat of agreeable grade paint throughout and put new appliances in there. If I do that, I put $7,000 in the unit, I can raise the rent $300. Boom. How do we go through that? So one of the things that we got to do, we got to identify the statement of work with the contractor. We're going to set our budget, and then we're going to go through and we're going to execute and manage that schedule as we go through the deal. And guess what? We're going to put the team together when it comes to the contractor. We're going to put the lead contractors together. We may have to hire out a couple subs, but guess what? We're going to lead through that process to transform that room in order to bring in that market rent. So I want to share with this. This was one, when I started talking about experience and everything.
What's going on, everybody? It's Johnny. I'm back, and wanted to introduce you guys to our latest project here in Panama City.
I'm gonna give y'all full disclaimer. This is like 3-4 years ago, so I wasn't really up on the content creation and all that. So y'all be kind. Y'all don't judge.
That we just closed on. As you can see, it's gonna be an interesting project from the outside with the landscaping, with the tree falling on the exterior. Did some damage there to the roof, and then just all the limbs and everything that's surrounding the place. So, but it's not too much that we can't take on with the project. So we'll take a quick walkthrough before the guys get ready to start demo tomorrow morning. So we're literally going to demo everything downstairs. So sheetrock's going out, all the flooring is going out, kitchen cabinets, appliances, and windows as well. So we're gonna take all this out. It's gonna be brand new from the bottom up. Coming in with new kitchen cabinets. We're gonna do the white shaker cabinets. We'll figure out, but we're thinking about the butcher board countertops with we're gonna stain them to match the tree damage room. So they cut back the sheetrock. So big thing here, we got 3 trusses that were cracked when the tree impacted here on the roof. So we got to repair some of the plywood decking here and then repair these 3 trusses. So we'll get the engineer's report with the fix that we need to put in place before they put the new roof on. You can see some of the water damage in the ceiling in this room. But other than that, all the sheetrock.
That's it, y'all. The property condition. You need to understand what's going on with your property. Hopefully your property isn't as damaged and jacked up as that one was, because that one would have been scary, but the one I done before that had prepared me for that one, so it wasn't that bad. And that's the thing that you got to be able to understand, that you got to have a plan going in on what you can pay for this property and do. We bought that property for a little bit, I think it was a little bit over $27,000 for that townhouse. And but we had to come in and do a lot of work, and we had to have a team that knew what they were doing in order to do it. And so therein lies the opportunity with that. But once you get the property condition together, now you got to get multiple estimates. You got to get your contractors out there. You got to have them walk the property. They have to give you the bids. You got to get the statement of work. You got to get the materials. You got to understand, hey, are they buying the materials? Are you buying the materials? What's the schedule going to look like? How are you going to do the draws to pay them? Are you going to pay them each week? Are you going to pay them halfway through the project? Disclaimer, never pay a contractor 50% up front. Don't pay them 25% up front. Don't pay them 100% up front. Pay them the bare minimum up front to get started. I recommend 5% or less to get started, but please, 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 please don't. Because I've seen many people. I've seen people in mastermind groups with professional real estate investors. I'm like, how the hell did you do that? You know better. You know, they come on the call and they tell you that they did. Well, I'm like, you did what? But please don't do that. Whatever you do, if you never buy an apartment or you're doing something at your house, don't pay a contractor up front, because it's highly likely they may just walk off and go starve, get busy and go do another job and forget about you. And then change orders. How are you going to process change orders? And just lay all that out with your contractors in order to make sure that you're successful. But going through, you get that home inspection, and when you find stuff, you can negotiate and you can tell the seller, hey, Mr. Seller, there's a huge water leak at your property. I need you to fix it. For that 18 unit, that's what we had going on. And we saw that from day one. We pulled up when you had water bubbling up out the middle of the street. I'm like, okay, cool. That's another opportunity. And it was a $31,000 fix that we found that they had to go through and reroute all the water piping to the 18 units, which they had to do that before we closed, which was now, boom, that's one less problem that we have to worry about. But going through the inspection, formalizing all that, it gives you a leg to be able to negotiate and work out win-win deals. And sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes you may have bull-headed sellers that say, hey, I don't care. I'm not going to fix it. Take it or leave it. And guess what? We leave it, because guess what? Rule number 1, don't do bad deals. Rule number 2 is don't forget rule number 1. We don't do bad deals. And unfortunately, as you become more and more seasoned in the real estate space, we say no way more than we say yes, because we come across bad deals way more than we come across good deals. And that's okay. That's part of the process. And we got to know that going in, that that's part of how we be successful. And when you go through these inspection reports, they're going to lay out everything that needs to be done, things that should have been done. Because sometimes I get with me being virtual, I get inspection reports when my contractors finish, just to make sure they did everything up to code like they were supposed to do. And then if they didn't, I can hold them accountable. And we hold them accountable by not giving those last payments. That's why we don't pay in advance. Execution. You get the plan set by your contractors. Now we're going to manage it. We're going to walk the project at least once a week. Guess what? If we're not there virtually, we're going to have somebody on our team that's going to walk it for us. They're going to video cameras. They're going to give us feedback, what they saw. And then guess what? We're going to communicate. We're going to over-communicate with our general contractor at least weekly. We're going to meet with them in person. It's preferable. And we're going to go through and make sure that we're on the same page. There's no surprises. Anything that popped up during the week, I want to know about it now. I don't want to know about it later. And we're going to make sure we get on the same plan. And then guess what? If it changes, because sometimes you start moving stuff around, stuff breaks, you find water damage, you got to modify the plan. And that's okay too. But that's why we constantly communicate in order to make sure that we stay on the same plan. Are you guys getting excited about this? I know I've been doing a lot of talking. Are you guys excited about the opportunity? Can you see yourself operating in this space? It's not hard, y'all. It's not hard work, but it's work. And the more information you get, the more familiar you get with it, the easier it becomes. And guess what? When you start getting those large checks deposited, it gets fun. It gets to be really, really fun. And when you learn how to put a system in place, like with me, I'm in the local DC area, so I'm 14 hours away. I can't even walk in there if I wanted to. All the houses, the apartments that we're doing, I may see them once a year. Even then, like if we flip a house in 4 or 5 months, it's highly likely I don't even see it, just because of the timing of me getting down there. But I have a team in place. And so that's what I want you guys to see, that this process, it works, whether it's you doing a lot of the juggling in pieces to make it happen, or if you have a team that's working and you're the CEO and you're managing, that it works. The process works. But the crazy part with all this, y'all, we hadn't even got to the best part yet, but we about to get into it. Step 4, finish. We got to finish. We're going to finish strong. And this is just simply going in and understanding what is the best exit strategy for your particular deal. Every deal is going to be different. On my multifamily side, I focus on value add. So I don't do new development. I don't buy new construction. Why? Because you can force appreciation. Because new development, it takes multiple years usually. You got to go through a lot of work up front with the architects, the approvals from the city. You got to get the foundations poured, utilities, and then you got to go through the construction process. That takes too much time. I want to buy a distressed asset that's already got walls, it got people living there, bringing in cash flow from day one. And I just want to go in and change out the floors, paint, maybe new cabinets and new appliances. I can increase the rent $300. And then now I can add value, refinance the deal, pull the majority of my money back or the investor's money back, pay them back. And then now we just keep getting monthly cash flow and we go on to the next deal. And that's what it's all about. And you don't have to do that but 3 or 4 times, because guess what? If you can buy an apartment building that's going to pay you $5,000 a month, you get 3 of those, that's $15K of passive income coming in. And then 10 years from now, you go and refinance, at year 8, you refinance the first one you bought. Then in year 9, you refinance the second one. Then year 10, now you refinance the other one. And guess what? They gave you a $400,000 check for each one of those 3, tax-free money, those 3 years. And that's how the wealthy, they do this. They buy apartment buildings. Think about it. You buy one apartment building each year for 5 years. And then at the 10-year mark, you start refinancing each one by one, and kind of stair step and take a ladder approach. And now you pull out $400,000 or $500,000 for each one. That's tax-free money that now you can go invest it. You can live off of it. You can do whatever you want to. And then guess what? 10 years from now, after that, rent's going to be going up some more, because guess what? The Fed wants to keep inflation at 2%. 2 times 10 is 20. So the US dollar is going to be worth 20% less in 10 years. So guess what? Rents are going to be higher. And guess what? It's going to take more of those dollars, because they're worthless, to buy your apartment building. So the value is going to go up in time. And that's the thing. That's why real estate is a great hedge of inflation. And you see right now in 2023, when inflation was coming down and going out, we saw interest rates go up. Inflation was running rampant. But guess what? What did real estate prices do? Real estate prices shot up, and they've held strong in a high inflation environment, because they're a great hedge of inflation. And so that's what we got to do. You got to get your strategy on point. But when you finish, when you refinance, and I kind of showed you guys a glimpse of it, but that's a snapshot of the HUD there from closing, but you can refinance. So we went in, we put $70,000 into 4 down units, and we were able to refinance 2 years later and pull out over $400,000. So with that money, we paid off the $95K to investors. We gave them an extra $20K bump. We paid our closing costs. And guess what? The cash out total after paying off our investors and everything, $309K. And our monthly payment went up from $4,500 to $5,900. And we're bringing in over $15,000 a month in rents and going up. I stopped raising the rent. I was like, it's no way I can charge more than $950 for a 750 square foot apartment unit. But the market rent is like $1,000. I'm like, I know my residents. I self-managed this apartment complex for 6 months before I left the Panama City area. And some of I'll say probably 60, 70% of the residents there are still there. They've been there multiple years. We had one building that didn't get damaged by the hurricane that has like the legacy carpet, legacy cabinets and everything. And there's people still staying in there for $750 a month that we had. The rent was lower than we took it up to $750, but they don't want to move because market rent is way higher than anything else, and they're fine. So, and that's one of the things you figure out as you become a landlord and you manage properties. Like, okay, if this person leaves, then I got to put 10,000 in the unit to bring it up to date. But if they stay and I don't increase their rent $200, they're gonna stay there, and I don't have to spend that $10,000, and I'm still get $750 a month rent. So that's the thing you got to figure out, the trade off, and just defer that later down the line to spend that $10,000 investment. But great day. This is what you do to refinance, and then guess what? When you get the money to refinance, what you go do? You go buy a Ferrari, of course. You go buy a Ferrari. No, I'm kidding. You reinvest it, and that's what you go do. And so that's what we did. 2022 with the refinance, went and bought a 40 unit and paid $47,000 a door. Market rent for the 1 bedrooms right now we're getting $850. For the 2 bedrooms we get $950, which is roughly on average a little bit over $300 a month increase in rent. We're spending about $7,000 a unit with those. What you want to do is, if you're putting $7,000 in a unit, you want to make that money back in 48 months or less. And we're making that money back well in advance of that. We're a little bit about 2.5 years. So we're doing really, really good with that. And the thing with it, you got to understand, and I forgot to put that in here, but the calculator. And I calculated what actually we're doing with the value. So if you got 40 units and you're increasing the value of those units by $300, 40 times 300 is $12,000. That's an extra $12,000 a month of income. Times 12 months is $144,000 of dollars. So $144,000 of income added to this property. Now, when you divide that by your cap rate, your capitalization rate, and in this market we bought at 675. Guess what we just added, y'all? We just added $2.1 million to the bottom line. Added $2.1 million of value by increasing the rent $300 is what you're adding. And it's actually more than that, because guess what? We're reducing expenses by $40 a unit, because now the tenants have to pay their pest, water, and sewer bill. That is the power of multifamily, where you can buy an asset, know that you can spend the money, increase the rent, and then go in and add that much value in a short amount of time. In 18 months, that you can add over $2 million of value. The other one, so we bought a 12 unit. This one that we bought with hard money right here. That 12 units. This one, the units were renting for $490 on average a month. $490, and we're the market rent right now. All these are under construction as we speak, and the market rent is $995, y'all. $995. So almost a $500 increase. And so 500, you do it 500 times 12 units. That's an extra $6,000 in rent collected that month, times 12 months in a year, $72,000. Now divide that by your cap rate of 6.75. You just added $1,066,000 of value by going in and investing in the property. And so right now we're putting $180,000 total across those units and investing in those. And that's the process. So you buy 660, we're gonna put in 180,000, so that's gonna have a loan of 840. And guess what? And we're gonna have a valuation of about 1.3 million. So we can refinance, pay off our hard money lender, and then just sail off into the sunset and do it again. And so that's the thing with that. So that's the 12 unit. And then lastly, we got Eastbrook 3, the 24 unit that we picked up November 11th. And you see that date there? November 11th on Bonnie Crest, and then November 11th, Eastbrook 3. That was the same owner. And the deal that we worked out with that owner, he said, if you buy this one for $55 a door, I'll sell you the other one for $55 a door and 100% financing for you, because I'm done. I'm 82. I'm done. I'm out of real estate. Y'all buying the other guy's building. I want to sell mine too. And so guess what? That's what we did. And the same thing, the market rents. And the thing that we did with this one, knowing our market, knowing what was going on with cap rates were starting to increase and things like that. I said, you know what? I'm looking at, we're so far under market rent. How about this? Instead of us taking our 1 bedrooms up to $850 and the 2 bedrooms at $950. How about we just cut it $100? How about we just get the 1 bedrooms for $750 and the 2 bedrooms for $850, and we don't update them at all? So we keep them $100 below market rent, and we leave them in the current condition. So we just renegotiate the month-to-month leases and say, hey, this is your new lease, and we're gonna just raise your rent to $750. And then for the 2 bedrooms, and then for the $650 for the 1 bedrooms, and we're gonna still have them pay their water, pests, and trash, and reduce the expenses. And now, boom, instantly, you're gonna increase the value without spending a dime on those units at all. So we didn't have to put any money into 24 units. Just renegotiate leases as people turn out. You just clean the units up, clean the carpet up, paint, and move forward. And now, instead of going in with a $300 bump, you just got a $200 bump. And so $200 times 24 is $4,800 of extra income a month times 12 months, $57,600 added to your total NOI, and increase in value. And then divide that by your cap rate, 675. Now you added $850,000 without spending a dime on the property by just going in, increasing the leases that were already too low, bringing them up $200, and now reducing your expenses. It's going to add an extra $40 a month on there as well too. And that's how you build wealth with apartments. That's how you add instant equity, by being able to go. Because when you buy apartments, you're buying a business, y'all. You're buying a business. It's all about the income that's generated and the expenses that you're paying. And any good business, you want to try to increase your income and reduce your expenses. And that's what we're doing. And being able to know that and know what the market, where the market is at, and know how this property is positioned in the market, it allows you to be able to bring in our value and increase value quickly. That's the process, y'all. We talked about how to find the deals, finance them, fix them, and now how we're going to finish it. So that's what, so far we went through a lot of different stuff. We talked about the find process, why it was important. You don't need a license to be an agent. You can go through and you can take action. And the faster that you take action, guess what? The faster you get that first deal. And after you get that first deal, the faster that you can come in and you get the second deal. And then we talked about how to find the deals. We're going to be doing our marketing. We're going to be looking broad marketing. We're going to be cold calling. We may be texting. We may be, networking at meetups. We may be driving for dollars. But then we may be talking to brokers. We may be looking for the vacant apartments that's out there. We may be looking at the eviction list, whereas to see what landlords are evicting people, to see if they want to sell, if they're tired. You may have somebody in probate that may have a apartment building that they may want to go. Or you may have a landlord, like the situation I just talked about, where you may have a guy that wants to retire. But we talked about how to finance the deals. There's multiple ways to finance. You can raise the money. You can get the money from the bank. You can get just traditional debt, or you can do non-traditional lending with the hard money. You can go through with private individuals that can invest in your deals, and you pay them a nice return on their money. Then you got self-directed retirement accounts as well too. That is an untapped avenue that I think everybody needs to tap into, because there's so much retirement account money out here right now, and people don't know how to invest it. We got seller financing, great deals where people want to be the bank. They want to bring in their residual income, and they don't want to be a hands-on landlord anymore. And that's where we can come in and help them out. You got joint ventures. You got the syndication model where you don't have to bring all the money to the deal. You can raise capital for your deal. You can keep a large chunk of the equity. I talked about this joint venture. I own 77% of this 18 unit. I got a buddy that raised $45,000. He got 18% ownership. And I had a college buddy that put in $20K, and I gave him 5% ownership. And that's how you can craft the deals, whereas that you don't have to try to bring all the money and everything to the deal. And then we talked about the deal analyzer, how to analyze, just look at the deal, go through, make sure it pencils out, and then being able to have that conversation with your banker and let them know you already understand how to run the property, how to execute the property, that it gives them that vote of confidence that they need in order to come through and work the deal. Then we talked about why that was a good deal. And then finally, you're going into the fixed side of it. We talked about how you're going to work with your contractors, you're going to partner up with them, you're going to get your estimates, you're going to make sure that you communicate with them and go through that whole process. And then we wrapped up with the finish, y'all, with the refinance, take the money, look for other opportunities to buy other apartment deals, and continue to build wealth. Woo! Right at 901. We're doing good. I'm about to wrap up, y'all. But with that, do y'all feel more comfortable bringing all this in about apartments and how you can build wealth? Hopefully it gave you a little bit clarity on that. Were you guys happy that you came to the webinar? Drop something in the chat. Let me see the chat. Let me make sure. Let me just see if I got some positive feedback that this was helpful, that it's worth, because I want to make sure that you guys got something from this, that you can understand how you can do this, because I want y'all to see that you can do this, because you can do it. But I want to make sure that you all understand that. And okay, we got some yes, thank you, definitely. Because that's what it's all about. That you all seeing that you can go through this and how you can go through it, and not just me showing you what I've been able to do. And I want you guys to understand the advantages that you have in the market by using these techniques. Because a lot of people lazy, y'all. I'm telling you, people lazy. People are lazy. The thing that separates you from doing deals and not doing deals is making offers and not making excuses. Too many people make excuses and don't go out there and make offers. At the end of the day, that's what is going to separate you from everybody else. If you're going to go out here and actually make offers and do the work. I want to know, can you see yourself actually doing and executing what I did? We didn't do any calculus. We didn't do any geometry, no trigonometry. We're using 5th grade math. We're adding, subtracting, we're dividing and multiplying in order to get there. And then even if you just use a tiny fraction, you just took one marketing strategy and go through and execute on it, I believe it will be time well spent. I don't know, but that's the thing that you guys figure out. And for some of y'all here, you may want to spend a little bit more time with me and figure out how I can help you get to that next level, to invest in your apartment where you're not walking through the apartment by yourself. You know, you're not going through trying to figure out the statement of work by yourself. You're not trying to underwrite a deal and put an offer in that may be too high, may be too low, and you're not getting in over your head and having some help. So with that, for those that, you know, been around for a few weeks, I'm rolling out my multifamily mastery mastermind, my initial cohort here, but it's a step-by-step approach that we kind of walk through tonight about how to buy apartments that's going to help you create that 5,000 plus monthly passive income coming in. It's going to give you that time freedom to do whatever you want to do. You can stay in your job. You don't have to stay in your job. You can change careers. You can just sit back and manage your apartment buildings. You got options. We're going to lower the risk of making costly mistakes. And guess what? You're going to put you on that path to build generational wealth, where you can refinance, get all your money out, and bring in that monthly cash flow, and you can leave these assets to your next generation. Because guess what? I can't leave my job. I'm just saying I can't leave my lieutenant colonel rank to my son when I'm passed away and gone and say, hey, yep, now you're recruited into the Air Force. It doesn't work like that. And neither can you. You can't save your job for your kids. And for a lot of people, they probably won't even want their kids working their job. Because I know my mom, she didn't want me working the job, how hard she had to work. And that's why I'm so passionate about this. I'm like, I got to find another way, because this ain't it. Because I saw the struggle. I saw the sacrifice, and I had to honor the sacrifice, because I was like, I'm not about to repeat this where my kids have to go through that same cycle. What is it? What's included? We got live weekly coaching session. We're going to teach you how to raise money, and we're going to teach you how to go through the due diligence. We're going to hold your hand going through the due diligence. We're going to hold your hand through the project management when you get that first project under contract and when you close on that deal to go through. What does that look like? We're going to have expert-led coaching. You're going to have me. Well, guess what? I got some coaches. I got some people in my network that's raised millions and millions of dollars too, for private equity funds, for RV park funds, for syndications. And guess what? They're going to be right there with you too, teaching the same strategy that they use to raise millions and millions of dollars. You guys gonna get my full finance fix and finish strategy. I'm gonna walk you guys through it, the different components of it. You're gonna get to see it in action as we get deals under contract. My deals. We're gonna be going to Montgomery for a couple of days and doing a site survey and continue to build your business. And we're gonna allow you to evolve your skills and build your team up and start taking action to find your first deal in the first 30 days. We're already doing. I got an email today with a list in Alabama, because I know some like, I don't know where to invest. I want to invest with you. That's perfect. Because we're doing deals, we're doing marketing, we're bringing in the deals. And for the last 6 months, there's been a large divide between seller expectations and where buyers can be from an interest rate perspective to pay for these properties. And it's starting to get closer and closer. People are getting more and more motivated to sell. Terms are starting to run out on their loans where they have to sell. And so guess what? Those that are ready and prepared, we're going to be in great position to pick up some assets at a discount. Capital raising blueprint. Everything you need for the tools and resources to get started to raise private money for apartment deals. I already told y'all the blueprint with the retirement accounts and how you can leverage those. And guess what? We partner with Advance IRA. We got everything set up on that side, whereas that you can have a custodian that can go in where you don't even have to be the expert. You just say, hey, this is a great company. They've been around for over a decade, and they can help you get started. And guess what? They're going to help them get started so they can come and invest in your deal and opportunity. You're going to gain the skills to ultimately reduce the capital that you need to go through. This skill set alone, y'all. Do you know how every business owner, regardless of what industry you're in, you need to know how to raise money. You need to know how to raise capital for your deal, because eventually you're going to run out of your own money. It's not a if, it's a when. And that's the thing that you got to understand. That skill set is going to be powerful. These are going to be skills that you're going to take with you the rest of your life. Due diligence, the consultant, we're going to reduce that risk of making rookie mistakes. Y'all saw me walking through that townhouse. We had the roof gone, all the sheetrock missing. You had the broke truss in there that you had to come in. You had engineering drawings, all this stuff. You guys get thousands of hours of experience, my experience and my coach's experience, to help you guys not make the same mistakes. And guess what? Then we're going to make sure that your statement of works are good for the renovation costs, and we're going to prevent you from being able to go through this alone. Because why wouldn't you want to have somebody that's been through there, done that, to hold your hand as you're going through these projects and make sure you're not making mistakes, to make sure that your contractors aren't taking advantage of you. So this is the kind of the layout. You need to, some people are more visual to kind of lay it out, but we start with the mindset. We're huge on the mindset, y'all. Go through the strategies, find your market, underwrite the deal, finance it, build your team, and execute. That's it. That's what we're going through. That's what we're doing. And I wanted to share this testimonial with you guys before I kind of get into the details.
Hello, my name is Reginald. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. You see this awesome property I'm in? Well, guess what? This property was not all that awesome when I first saw it. It had holes in the floor, holes in the ceiling. It needed to be brought back to life. I would have never taken action on a property in that condition before Johnny's coaching program. But once I got in Johnny's coaching program, I learned about setting smart goals. I learned about how to find a deal, analyze the deal, put it on the contract. And look, I learned how to even find contractors in that program. And look where I'm at now. 5 weeks later, we're getting ready to list this property on the market. Let me tell you something. If you want a life-changing experience, if you want to learn about generational wealth, creating something for your kids and your grandkids, you need to join Johnny's program now. The biggest key thing I learned in this program is one thing: take action.
That's it, y'all.
Hello, my name is Reginald. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. You see this?
Take action. You gotta take action. That's what it's all about, taking action. Reggie was really the reason that I even created the multifamily program. He was going through my single family program, and he was like, halfway through, we finished this flip. He called me, it was May. We sold it in the beginning of April of 22. He's like, dude, I was reading your book and stuff. He's like, hold on, this same thing we just did, it works on the multifamily side too. It's just marketing. I just got to talk to brokers that sell commercial real estate instead of realtor. What? Yeah. Yeah, that's how I got my first 18 units. And he's like, okay, cool, say less. And so guess what? We were able to go through that process and partner on that deal and be able to take those apartment units down. Guess what? Reggie didn't have to put no money in that deal, y'all. And those apartment units that I started talking about, where we're going to add over $4 million of value in 18 months. He owns 33% of that apartment complex of those units, y'all, with no money in the deal. But guess what? He found a deal. He knew how to source the deal. We knew how to bring it together. And I taught him how to bring it together. For those that want one-on-one coaching, they want to be hands-off, it's $25K, y'all. That's it for me. If you want me to do all the work and build your portfolio for you, underwrite your deals, find the deals, and do all that, you just sit back, sign the checks, and do it. That's what it is, just to work with those clients that, they high net worth, don't really want to be hands-on, don't have the time to be hands-on. I get it. That's fine. And partner on the deals and vet the deals for you. But I know that's not for everybody. And so that's going through with the coaching. I want to make it, reasonably affordable, where if somebody has the resources or they can figure out how to be resourceful, if they're really committed, hence not interested, but committed to being able to move forward. You got the small group coaching for 6 months, our regular weekly sessions, the feedback, the action plans, the deal desk where you could potentially partner on deals with myself, and then the coaches in there as well too. And guess what? The thing is, like with these deals, like the coaches, we're gonna be we got investors that want to invest as well too. And so if you got a good deal, that there's investors out here that want to invest in it, but you just gotta do the work to get the deals, or you gotta raise the money, or you gotta manage the deals once you close. And just figuring out what your superpower is and what you bring to the team is going to allow you to get in these deals and be able to operate at a high level and do that. But I got something for y'all. For today, for those that's on the call that really ready to move forward, that wants to join the cohort and get started and building wealth, that it's not $10,000, it's $6K. It's $6K for everything that we laid out, kind of going through with those sessions right there. But on top of that, I'm gonna add in some bonuses for y'all tonight too. Unlimited deal debt support. What does that mean? So you get the underwriting tools to analyze the deals and everything, but guess what? You get expert underwriters right there beside you that can back you up and verify your numbers, make sure that you're good to go. You get the opportunity to partner on the community members deals and with the coaches, where that now you're not going through this at all by yourself. And so now you got people that's looking over your shoulder and understanding, hey, making sure that you're not making a mistake in your underwriting, because that's the hardest part. Math is intimidating for a lot of people. And so that's the thing that we wanted to look at, is like, okay, how can we help meet people where they are to make sure they're not overwhelmed and that they actually go through. And then I'm also allow people to invest in my deals too. So you get to see my deals, see what we're doing, how we're underwriting, what are we calling a deal, why do we call it a deal, and moving forward. So for you guys that like, okay, I know I need to be in, I'm ready to build wealth, that there's the link to the website right there, multifamilymastery.johnnylynum.com, to sign up to go through. But I think that's one of the big things that I want to be able to add to you guys and add value. Whereas that, how can you be able to make sure that you can get over the hump to kind of knock down that barrier of not being able to do the math yourself and going through. But then on top of that, the document library, just being able to have the checklist, the templates, the worksheets, the marketing materials you want to market to direct owners, homeowners that own, because most people, we didn't talk about a lot, but most of the units, 40 units and below, there's less competition because most of those landlords, they self-manage. And so you can go direct to owner compared to 100 unit that they usually have professional management, and it's hard to get to the owners. But with that, you get the contracts, the letter of intent, all that. My contracts alone on that first deal, y'all, cost $5,000. That's my attorney charged me to draw my private placement memorandum, my operating agreement, my subscription agreement for the apartment deal. For those investors that brought in that $95K, I paid my attorney $5,000 alone just for the paperwork. So you get access to all that paperwork, the checklist, everything that you need in order to go through and manage the process. And that is going to help you guys go through, because we live and die by checklists in the military. Because guess what? Every 3-4 years, we're moving assignments. You know, you're deployed. You may be in a deployed area for 6 months, somebody backfilling you 6 months later. And that's how we fight wars. Because if it's not on the checklist, then you shouldn't be doing it. Because you got to put an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, and you got to expect them to deliver an exact capability at exact time on this exact target, that they got to go through their methodology and the checklist. And that's not the time to be figuring out, well, maybe do I supposed to do this? I think I'm supposed to do that. I'm not sure. Do I press the button now? No, you got to know. And that's the thing. When you're going through and investing in multifamily, you got to know. And you got to have 100% confidence in everything that you're doing. And these tools and processes are here to help you not make mistakes. And that's what you have here with the team. So we got the unlimited deal debt support. We got the document library. So now you underwriting is taken care of. You don't have to worry about doing it alone. You got all the documents. You don't got to go out here, start from scratch with attorneys and figuring out all the information that you need for your contracts, your operating agreement for your LLCs, and everything to get that together. But then you get access to a virtual assistant support. So what is that? So I have my team in the Philippines, an agency that I use, but now everybody doesn't need to go out and get a VA. Because guess what? You get your multifamily list, you get a skip trace, I got a list of 100 owners that own duplexes all the way up to 40 units in my market, and I want to reach out to them once a month. I want to send them a text message and say, hey, yep, I know we reached out to you last month. Just wanted to check and see if anything's changed. Would love to have coffee with you and sit down. Whatever you want to text them, your marketing strategy. And we got templates for the text that you can send. And they cold call. Cold calling is just simply saying, hey, I got these 40 apartment owners. I'm going to go through. I'm going to call them once a month and say, hey, Mr. Seller, it's just local. Mr. Johnny Lynum, was calling, man. Hey, yeah, I saw you at the meetup last week. What's going on? Whatever the conversation is that you would have as a personal individual, now you have a cold caller that's professional, that's trained, that's going through, that's got metrics. Because guess what? You can't change anything you don't measure. And so that's what we got, metrics that we look on a weekly basis for the calls. And so they're calling on your behalf. And when that seller says that they're ready, guess what? They send you get a text saying, hey, this is the conversation highlights. This is the property. This is what they said they want. Maybe they didn't give a price, but they're expecting you to call them back at a set time that you set. So we're laying that out there for you where now you're not trying to go call these people on your lunch break. How do I know about that? Because I used to do that myself. You're not out there trying to go through and send text messages. Now you have an assistant that you're leveraging in order to get in front of these people when they're ready to sell. You're top of mind because you've been calling, you've been texting for the last 6 months. They're ready to go now. And they're waiting for you to come out and get them an offer and walk the property. Have your motivated seller appointment set for you. This is priceless. This is going to save you so much time because when somebody's ready, you're ready. And you don't have to waste your time waiting for them to get ready. So we talked about that, the 3 bonuses. I got another one here for you guys. My REI Accelerator program. I talked about the single family, the fix and flip. I'm not in the business that often with me being the CEO and I have an acquisition manager that goes on appointments, that gets things under contract. I verify like, yep, that's a deal, pay this price. They send it to the title company. Then she gives it to my contractor team down there. They do the work. She verifies the work. My inspector goes in, inspects it. Then the acquisition manager, she's a realtor too. And then she just lists the property on the MLS. And then when it sells, finally they deposit the checking account and boom, we're good. And then my wife handles everything in between during the day. We're paying the contractors, turning their utilities on, working everything when something's out at Home Depot and you got to change design because everything is cookie cutter. We do the same paint on the exterior, same trim, the same products on the inside, the same floor, the same paint, the same appliances, the same cabinets, everything is the same. So it's really not a whole lot they have to manage unless something's different. And then that's when they come in. But you get my whole system, everything that I use, all my tools, the marketing and everything that we do. Because that same VA, he does the same thing on the single family side for the business. But you guys get that whole process that I use to build that. Because my strategy, I have my fix and flip business because guess what? We flip 10 to 12 houses a year. We take that profit from those deals and guess what we go do with it? We buy apartment buildings. That's it, y'all. That's it. And so it's a business that funds the investment. And that's what it's all about. So you guys get access to that too, and as well. And I want to share this with you guys here.
Oh, what's going on?
Hey, John, and thanks so much for this information tonight. It was so valuable. I mean, every time you give content, John, it's just invaluable. For anybody that's on the fence about joining Johnny's mentorship, it's the best decision you could make. I've been a mentee of his for about a year now, and I have learned so much about investing in real estate. And you cannot go wrong if you join Johnny.
Man, I love Joe. Joe's out there doing the work and putting in the work. And I want you guys to be able to put the work and come and join the team because that's what we're building a community. I share the testimonials because I want you to see that it's real life people just like you that's getting up, going to work every day, making sacrifices for their family. That's now figured out, hey, there's a better way. There's a different way that I can add on to what I'm doing to go to the next level because we're all about going to the next level. And then, we laid out that, but I'm going to say the last one for the end, the best bonus, and that's going to be me, y'all. That it's going to be, you got access to my calendar. Everybody can tell you like, hey, if you need to jump on the phone with me, I got an hour set out every evening where you can block time on my calendar to jump on when something comes up. In between our live meetings that we have on Monday, you can jump in, get some advice, consultation, and leverage my 15 plus years of experience doing this. The thousands of hours, putting in the game with this to be able to be at your disposal. And then just the focused mentorship to help you accelerate your well-building journey. Because everybody's strategy, everybody's approach is going to be different when it comes to real estate. And I think that's why you guys probably can relate to this, that you have all these different programs that are cookie cutter and they don't meet you where you are. And so people don't find success with them because they don't have a customized strategy that can meet them. Because if I'm telling you, you got to go out here and call 100 people a day and you work in 12 hours, that ain't going to work. That's not sustainable. 2 months, you're going to be burned out and you're going to quit. And then you're going to think real estate ain't for you. No, the strategy that you had wasn't for you. And so that's the thing that we're going to go through is help you with the strategy, get set on something that you can consistently execute and find time in your schedule where you can make just small habit shifts. Because if you change your habits, you can change your life. And so we're going to make those small shifts to figure out whatever the strategy is that you need to be doing, what your superpower is, what are you really doing that can lend itself to multifamily to be a contributor on the team and to execute at a high level without even really thinking about it. And you know, some people just love to talk. You need to be talking to brokers. Some people, they're analytical. They need to be underwriting. Some people, they love to talk. You need to raise money. Some people that's good with management and structure, you need to manage the deals. So there's different facets of the team that you can bring in and come out. We're going to hone those skills and take that experience from your day job and translate that to becoming a real estate investor and building a team and figuring out and putting you in a position for success. That's all that's what a coach's job is LeBron. LeBron doesn't coach himself. He has a coach that puts him in a position to be successful. And that's all great players. You got to have a great coach in order to get over the hump. Kobe couldn't win until he got Phil Jackson. Michael Jordan couldn't win until he got Phil Jackson. You know, so figuring out the right person that has the vision to put you in a position to be successful is what a strong leader is supposed to be. And that's what I'm going to do for you guys, to put you guys in a position to be successful. And last but not least, I'm going to have an unlisted bonus for you guys. I forgot the guarantee. I did put the guarantee. And somebody asked me, like, man, I need a guarantee. Well, I tell you what, if you go through 6 months and you hadn't had an opportunity to partner on a deal or to buy your own deal, then I'm gonna coach you for free for 90 days to go over. So there it is. You know, there's no other guarantee that I can really give you. If you do the work, the process is proven. People have come before you, and if you do the work, that you're gonna reap the benefits of it. So some people, they want a guarantee, but I figure that is a decent guarantee. I'm fine with that. If you putting in the work and you ain't got the results, I'm gonna walk right there with you. I'm gonna be out. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be out in front of you. And so with all that, $6,000, y'all. That's it. That's the best I can do for this first cohort. We got some great people ready to go. We start Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're meeting up live. You're gonna be coming in. There's gonna be tons of video content going through where I'm teaching the nuts and bolts from A to Z, all the way through multifamily, through the processes that we go through in details, and then being able to kind of add in the pieces that you need as you go through when we meet live each week. You guys see the bonuses we got there. Then the unlisted bonus, I'll finance it for you. I didn't even talk about that. That's the unlisted bonus for y'all tonight. For those watching today, I'll finance the deal for you. Whereas the $6,000, if you don't have this all $6K up front, you can do a monthly payment, $1,250 a month, and I'll finance it. So for those that, I don't know what else. I don't know what else to give you, what else to provide for you. Hey, if you're ready to go, I'm ready to go. I think we got time for some questions. Anybody got questions? This is the time. Go to the website. You're ready to go. Sign up. We're looking for the next couple of days. Go ahead and lock in so we can get everybody on board and do the surveys, and so we can serve you best and be ready to go on Monday. And I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited about this. If you can't understand, so I want you guys to be able to tap in and get in, join as we go forward with this great mastermind, because I'm a true believer that this is going to change lives. And that's what we're all about with REI Genius. We're changing lives through real estate, y'all. So yeah, we got any questions in the chat, Faye, or anything? Feel free to come up as you manage everything, and just let me know whatever questions we got in the chat, and I'll answer.
I have a question, Johnny.
Okay.
There you go.
What's going on? So I heard about your hard money deal, your multifamily. What was your interest rate on that? And how did you determine if that was the most feasible route to go?
It was 12. So the rate was 12.5%, 12.5%, and 2.5 points at closing. And I think we had to put down like $45K. It was either $45K down or $45K total, with the closing costs and the down payment. So for me, it was speed, that we could get into the deal, didn't have to put a whole lot of money down, and we could refinance because I knew we could get the rents on the back end. And so it was just a matter of getting the deal and the speed that comes with it versus trying to go traditional or going to a lender that's going to want 20-25% down. Or, going and having to raise multiple hundreds of thousands, because they gave us the $180,000 for the renovation as well too. And that's one of the cool things with it. That's one of my preferred lenders because they only lend to veterans. And so that's the thing as well too for my veterans. I have quite a few veterans that I coach that we have preferred lenders that access the capital on that side to get deals done.
All right, appreciate it.
Great question. Anybody else? Any other questions or anything? Don't be shy. This is the time. You know, I know a lot of people, they talk about I don't have time to fit this in my schedule, and they get caught up with a lot of the constraints or barriers to getting tired. It's like I tell people, I was joking with my son a couple of days ago. I was like, dude, I've been working 2 jobs for the last 7 years. I'm like, what are you talking? Don't complain. You complaining to the wrong person, because to be a present husband and father of 3, run 2 different companies, and be active duty Air Force all at the same time, that you can do it. So I'm really not sympathetic to people when they talk about their time, because we all have 24 hours in the day. We got 7 days in a week, and it's not about the time that we have. It's what you do with it. Period. It's all about priorities. If you make a list of the different stuff that you're doing on a daily basis, and be honest with yourself that there's some stuff on the list that you're doing right now that ain't adding value to your life to where you want to be in the future, and it's not serving you at the end of the day. And I think that you go through that. Go ahead, that you can take that time right there and dedicate to doing real estate. Go ahead, make the commitment, sign up, and like boom, let's go, and put that time in and stop. Because that's the thing, we just tell ourselves the lies, and then we start believing our own lies, and we end up in the same place that we are right now. And if you don't want to be there, then you can change it. That's the thing. If you somewhere right now in your life where you don't want to be, change it. Change who you're hanging around. Change the places that you're going. Change the things that you're reading. Changing the things that you listen to. It's getting to the point now, like, I can't work without like consuming content on YouTube. It's like if I'm working, I need to be consuming audio. That it's weird now that it's because I'm always learning. I'm always interested in some topic, and I'm always training myself. Because that's it. But cool. What else? No question. Everybody got it. I think everything must have been clear.
Hey, Johnny, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think about hotel investing? I came across an owner that owns a hotel.
Okay.
He's about 80 years old. He's wanting to sell. Do you have any experience as far as that, or anybody around you? I just don't know how to approach the deal. He's willing to sell. He's more than motivated, but I just don't know how to structure the deal. And it's in a nice area. It's about, it's at least 50 or 60 rooms.
Okay. I haven't done a hotel deal. What you see with a lot of people right now, they are doing conversions to like boutique hotels.
Short term, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's
what I would do. I would turn to like a weekly rental. I wouldn't do like a nightly stay. I would do more like a weekly rental.
Yep. And there's I know I was talking with an investor that's doing a workforce housing partnership with the local area in North Little Rock right now, North Little Rock, Arkansas, with a property like that, where they're partnering with the state, whereas now they can provide workforce housing in there, and the state's providing that those payments. So there's definitely some opportunities to talk with the local government, things like that, where you can come in and get that guaranteed cash flow. But I think the big thing is you want to limit your upfront risk, because it's not producing cash right now, or it may be producing cash, but you just understanding what improvements you need to do to the units, and then from there understanding what that business plan looks like, and now being able to work with the seller and let them know, hey, I want this to be a win-win for both of us. That, hey, let me see if you can work with my terms. Whereas that maybe we only you put nothing down, or maybe I would start with nothing down and come in, take over, manage the property, and you can look at doing a lease option to purchase it in the future. And if it doesn't work out, then you can just hand it back over to them.
Gotcha. Okay.
No, great question.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Definitely appreciate everybody coming out on the webinar and, signing up, taking the time to come get the information. And, if you guys want to jump on a strategy session, talk about your circumstance or what you got going on and see kind of what's the best strategy for you. Would love to have a conversation, to jump on a call to kind of go through that with you. So by all means, definitely reach out. For those that want to go through, definitely go to the link, get ready to get signed up here the next day or so, and take advantage of the opportunity, because I think it's a great time. It's a great time. It's always a great time to buy real estate and going through. And if you hadn't learned yet, I'm passionate about everything that we're doing, and I'm excited about this opportunity with the Multifamily Mastermind and how we're going to lay everything out with this system. Because when you go through, you look at, you try to make, a lot of people try to make things affordable at the lowest price. But my mindset, I kind of flipped it. It was like, okay, how can I add the most value to almost guarantee people are successful? And then, okay, what does that value package look like? How do I price that the right way where it's still reasonable for those that are committed and those that are resourceful enough? What's the right price? And so $10K is that price. And for you guys on the webinar, it's $6K. So I definitely encourage you guys kind of take this entry level thing, because we're gonna make some tweaks along the way and perfect it. And when we get going, we're gonna get going, and it's gonna be really good. So all I can say is thank y'all for tapping into the webinar. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out to be here with me. Hopefully you found some value. I was able to bless you all. We'll give you some information. Take this framework, leverage it, go figure out some marketing that you want to do for yourself to get going and having some conversations to start changing your future in a way that you want to be and start living on purpose and figuring out how you can bring multifamily into your life. Because if you bring multifamily in your life, I guarantee you it's going to change your life and it's going to be for the better. So y'all be blessed, and let me know how I can be of service to you in the future. And I'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, guys. You got Ian and Tracy in. Yes.
Yes, let's go.
Yep.
Oh.
Thanks, Henry, Ian, Tracy. Is that Trace? Tracy? I keep mentioning Tracy. Okay.
Okay, I didn't
Reginald,
get a chance to
Kevin,
go through everybody.
Stephen,
What's up, everybody? What's
and
up,
Mike.
Ian? Thanks, everybody, tapping in.
Right, don't hide.
I'm not hiding. I'm not
They
hiding.
can hear you.
What's up, Pam? Yep, great conversation, Pam and Kevin, today. All right, y'all. What's up, Reginald? We got to catch up. Matter of fact, I'll call you now when I finish up.
Yes, sir. I got, yeah. Okay, if you can. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Hey, guys.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
I'll talk to you on Monday, Ian and Trace.